you love talking real estate numbers, then this video is for you guys. And remember, housing is very local right here in Portland, Oregon. And we're gonna get into the numbers in Lake Oswego and Southwest Portland. So if you're interested in finding more about all those, then this video is gonna be right up your alley. My name is Cullen. I'm a local real estate agent right here in Lake Oswego, part of the greater Portland Metro. So let's dive right into these numbers. These are the March 2025 numbers. And then I'm gonna start kind of high level on the Portland Metro, give you some numbers there. But honestly, you gotta go deeper. You gotta go more local than that. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, it really is by the neighborhood, the city, whether it's Southwest Portland, Lake Oswego, what price point are you at? Are you at 600,000? Are you at $1 million? Are you at 2 million? Those things really, really matter. And you probably heard the saying, real estate is local. Well, I truly, truly believe that. And I'm gonna dive into the numbers and show you guys just what a difference it means depending on which segment you're in. All right, so here we go. These are the numbers for March 2025. This is the whole Portland Metro. It just gives you broad strokes. Hey, what's going on here in the real estate market? So you'll see, look over here on the right side, you'll see in 2025, we've got 3 months of inventory. So that means if everyone stopped listing any new homes on the MLS today, it would take about 3 months for all the existing inventory to get sold. So we have 3 months of inventory. That's down from February of 3.2. And then look over here where we get into new listings. Let's look at like this month compared to last month, right? So in March, new home listings increased 38% from last month, from the February, 38%, that's huge. So if there was any question that we're in the spring market, yes, spring market is here, we're in the spring market. So 38%, that's just really, really, really big. So let's go down here to the pending sales. So pending sales increased 33% from the previous month in February. So that exactly kind of correlates here. We're seeing a big jump in the amount of listings and a big jump in an percentage increase that correlates right with that, right? So that makes sense for the amount of pending sales, kind of goes right with that. And let's skip down here. We already talked about 3 months of inventory, and the total market time decreased to 71 days. And so if you look back over here, this little chart, you can see market time is down 7 days. So it's a total of 71 days in the Portland Metro, which, hey, that's a pretty long time. That's over 2 months, 2 months and about a week and a half. So that's down 7 days, which means, hey, the market is picking up. Certain price points in certain neighborhoods, they're seeing multiple offers homes are going that first weekend, within that first week. But at the same time, we're still seeing other homes that are just crickets. They're having open houses and nobody's going through them. So again, we're gonna dive a little deeper and you can see at what price point that might happen at. All right, now let's look over here to the average and median sales price. So you can see the average sales price increased 4.2% from last year to this year of March. So the last year, 578 to 603. And so that's the average, taking all the homes, just averaging them together. But if we do the median sales price, so that doesn't give as much weight to those $10, $12 million homes. So if we look at the median sales price, it jumped from $525,000 last year to $540,000. So it's a pretty decent increase. So it's only 2.9%, but 540 from 525. And let's look down here. Here's our market time, just so you can see here. 2025, we're at 71 days. Last month was 79. Last year was 66 this time in March. Let's look over here at this chart. So this is the active residential listings. And you can see here in February, 4,500, March, 4,800. You can see this nice little tick up here, going almost, hitting the 5,000 mark here. And as you can see from the last, 2 years, each year, these last few years, we're getting more homes on the market. So we're starting to see this upward trend here for this spring market, and it should, pretty much every year, it pretty much follows. This year is not going to be any different. We're going to see more and more homes go on the market here over the next few months, and kind of peaking, right here in July. So as you can see, the new listings, got a big jump up, right here from February to March, and pending sales right there with it, keeping in, correlation there with the last few years. And same with our closed sales. And here's our average market time. And this winter, our market time was a lot higher than it was last year, but here we are, kind of coming, it's still a little bit higher than it was the last couple of years, but it is coming down. And that we should see that, keep coming down. Here's our average median home price over the last 20 years. So you can kind of really get a good sense here of our, our kind of peaks and valleys here with our seasonality. Now let's switch over and look at the data. Now this data that I pulled, this is data straight from the MLS, and I filtered it by, this is homes, attached and detached homes that sold all of March up and through April 8th. So let's scroll down here to total units sold by bedrooms. You can see here's where the activity is. And this is just for the city of Portland, not the whole metro. So this is any of the quadrants of, Southwest, Southeast, Northeast, Portland. You can see the most activity here, we've got 2 bed, 3 beds, 4 beds, and then you've got the outliers here. And here's the, average and median price by bedrooms. So you can, here's where you can really see a difference here. If there's any jump here, depending on what size home you're looking at, how many rooms you're looking for, you can really see that correlation here. You can see here's a $500,000 mark, and right in the middle, you'd be about $750,000. So you can see that 2 bedrooms, you can get the average and median price, you're gonna be under $500,000. And then the bigger home, starts to really kind of come up. And if you're looking at 4 bedroom, you're hitting in that $750,000 mark. And then 5 bedroom, you're hitting in that, above $800,000, $900,000 mark for your average price. And then 6 bedrooms, you really jump up here to that like $1.5 million mark and up. Let's also come down here. So this is I find this really fascinating. So if you love the numbers, hope I'm not boring you here too much. So you can see here, this is cash. So people who paid cash and people who did conventional financing. So cash, 119 homes. This is just, over a month, over the previous month, 119 homes were paid for cash, and 365. FHA is a type of loan as well. You may have heard of. Here's VA loans, rehab loan, and a few other smaller loans here. But here's our main loans going to be right here, FHA and conventional. So doing a loan finance, which most of us need to do, we've got about 400 homes here, but 100 homes, so that's like 20%, 25%, of the homes sold were with cash. So that's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of homes. And if you look over here, this is going to say, hey, these homes that were bought, what was the, here's the average and median home price that was paid, right? So if we just kind of look at the median for this talk, so median cash tended to pay a little bit more. They were buying just a little bit more expensive home versus financed. And right here, this is the final list price versus the sale price. So we got the sale price versus the final list price. So both of these over this last month, we're paying a little bit over the final list price, which means it's competitive because no one usually pays over the asking price unless it's getting competitive. So we know it's competitive. There's multiple offers going on in here. But then if you look right here, this is the original list price to the final sale price. So which means there was a price reduction here, most likely. So when you get this lower number, so you can see it doesn't really matter too much if you paid cash or conventional. So the original list price that probably was on the market, maybe through the winter, you're gonna get a lot of those homes that have been sitting, and now, we're in that spring market, more buyers are coming to market, they lower the price, and then voila, you get a couple of offers, at the same time. Here's our days on market, and this is the cumulative days on market. So let's just look over here at the days on market. So you can see the median days on market. If you're paying, people are paying cash, they're usually seeing that property and kind of scooping it up fairly quickly, because that's only 7 days on market for that median days on market. And then 11 days on market for people paying with a conventional loan, which also tells us, hey, the market is speeding up. So you're gonna have this average days on market is way longer, because that's just taking all of them. There could be new construction homes, there could be homes through the winter that's been on the market for 5 months, 4 months, 6 months, something like that, that are kind of weighing these numbers. So it just gives a little better metric of, hey, what's going on exactly right now. So I like to look at the median days on market right here. So that tells us 11, things are going fairly quickly. 11 days on market, 7 days on market. Then let's look down here. This tells us by the bedrooms. So the units sold, how many houses sold, and break it down by how many bedrooms. So you can see, the most homes that were sold are the 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes. And then you can see here's our, median and average home price here, from 400 to 2 bedrooms to 700. And then again, you can correlate over here and say, hey, for how much longer, we'll look over here for those 5 bedroom homes. Well, they're taking a lot longer to sell, 62 days, versus 4 bedrooms, 11, 8 for 3. Your 3 bedrooms is kind of going to be your most typical sought after home in the city of Portland. There's not as many bigger homes in the city of Portland as there are in the suburbs. Okay, now let's bring up Lake Oswego. So in Lake Oswego, this is the stats for the previous month. So here you can see 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms. Most of them are the 3 and 4 bedrooms of the units sold. And you can see here, if you're looking at a 2 bedroom, you can get 750. 3 bedroom, you're at that $1 million mark. 4 bedrooms, you're at that $1.5 million mark. 5 bedrooms, a lot of the new constructions are going to be 5 bedrooms. So you're right there at that $2 million to $2.5 million mark for the average home. So here we go. And again, this is really interesting. So you can see cash, way more homes in Lake Oswego are being bought with cash than in the city of Portland, which makes sense. So we've got 15 homes sold with cash, 34 with conventional home loans. And you can see over here, here's our median home price was just over $1 million for financing, and 1.5 with paying cash. You can see people are getting more of a discount than they are in Portland, because again, those prices are higher. The higher the price point, typically the slower that home is going to take to sell. So you can see here, things are heating up here even more as well. 11 days, on for both of these on days on market. And but if we take the average, we're seeing 67 days, 47 days. And if you're paying cash, you are getting more of a discount. By paying cash, you're able to use that to negotiate a little bit better. So off that final list price, so maybe they've dropped the price once or twice to what you're able to buy it for, you're getting it almost 96%, so about a 4% difference there. And then conventional, still able to get it almost 2% less. So you're getting maybe about an extra 2% discount for paying cash right now. But again, that could always change as the market heats up. So how many units sold? So okay, only 3. So there's not a lot of homes that sell here. We just don't have a lot of inventory that are 2 bedrooms. So 3 units sold last month, 20 units, 20 homes sold that were 3 bedrooms, 19 that were 4, 8 that were 5 bedrooms. So we can see here's our price difference. So you can see the 3 bedrooms, $862. If you want that 4-bedroom home, like so many people that are relocating and moving here from out of state do, you're working from home most likely. You want a bedroom to, call an office. You need a couple of bedrooms if you need a couple for kids or for a guest room. You're right there under that 1.5 million mark is going to be your median home price right there. And again, you can see the 2 bedrooms, not a lot of inventory there. So those are going over list price with 2-day average days on market for those 3. So they went really fast. And you've got your 16 days on market for your median days on market for those 3 bedrooms, 13 for the 4 bedrooms. And if we average those in together, longer term, we're seeing a lot longer days on market, but you can see market is tightening up here. So here's a great example. I live in Palisades, and there was a house down the street that sold, had multiple offers first weekend, sold for about $50,000 over list price. And that was at about a $1.5, $1.6 million price point. So there are going to be exceptions as we get into the spring market. Houses that are in areas that are in demand, maybe it's walking distance to schools, maybe the home's really well taken care of, has great curb appeals, had good updates on the inside. Those homes are typically going to go a lot quicker, a lot faster, because there are buyers, watching out. I have many clients that are on the sidelines just waiting for that right house, that are watching everything that comes on market. So homes with really good curb appeal, if you see something that you really like, definitely reach out to me if it comes on the market, and I can go see that for you, over video if you'd like, if you're not here in town. Just very important to kind of jump on the right house that speaks to you, because everything in Lake Oswego is totally different. I hope this has been of value to you guys and didn't bore you too much on diving into the details. And if there's a particular part of Portland neighborhood that you want to dive into deeper on the numbers, reach out to me. My information's right down there. Shoot me a text and we can set up a Zoom session, and I can just pull up the numbers for you and we can just go over them, right there over the computer. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next one coming up right now.